What a wonderful way to start. So, are you redoing it?
No, I mean, basically I'm gonna have to edit all this out anyways, because I don't know, like, what's... My numbers aren't read yet, so I don't know if I'm recording properly yet. But there we go. Okay. Welcome back to the Legion of Clods podcast after our long break. It is the 7th episode, and I actually got this right this time. It's not a question, I know.
That's what he wants to
Okay.
So, welcome back. The winter happened, Christmas happened, New Year's happened. So, all of us were kind of doing different things, and some of us were at a place without internet. But we're back.
I mean, I had internet, but...
You didn't have internet, don't lie.
But did you really?
No.
I don't know if you can call that internet.
That pretend internet.
Yeah. But, yes, so, everyone, welcome back. Who are you people?
I don't know anymore. My whole life has been a lie. I'm probably Garrett.
It's good.
We'll see.
But see, I might also be Garrett, so
Dear
And I might be
God.
Scott.
this produces a problem.
You know,
And so it begins.
this is the intro every time at this point. It doesn't even matter. It's just like, that's the thing now.
I gave you at least 2 normal ones. You should be grateful that you obtained that many.
I did get 2 normal ones out of you. That is true. But then the last 2 ones have been a mess. So, thanks.
Well,
And this other person here, guess he just doesn't matter.
Wait, is that me?
That's you.
Am I the other person? Oh god.
You never said who you
I
were.
didn't study!
I'm Taylor.
Good. All right. Everybody's been introduced. This is already shaping up to be just as good as the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, guess we'll just start off with the normal thing of what's everyone been playing? Start with Scott.
Well, actually, I have more interesting things than the last time because I actually played something in the month that we haven't done anything. First of all, I basically I got The Last of Us for Christmas, and I played a little bit of it, but then got stuck, and then I had to go back to college. So I'm going to be stuck for another 3 or 4 months, which kind of sucks, but at least it was towards the beginning, so I can just start over during the summer.
Welcome to life.
Basically. And I played Project Diva F Second,
Oh, dear God.
which I unlocked all the songs, completed them all on easy, and 3 of them on normal before I went back.
For those of you who don't know, Project Whatever He Said is the game with the Vocaloids.
Indeed.
And then you try to make them your waifus or something. I don't know.
It's just 20% of the game. The rest is
The
cold, hard, uncut, gall-busting action.
It's 20% of the game. The other 20% is try and give them milk and hope
Milk?
they love you.
I don't like milk anymore, though. Anyway, so that other Weeb-related games was me and Ray played 100% Orange Juice, which is a board game on Steam. It's I don't even know how to describe it, but I mean it exists and it's fun. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's been kind of like the new amazing game Doldrum, I feel.
Taylor, what did you just pop the cap off of something?
he popped
Yes.
the cap
Okay.
because he's a gangster.
Oh,
Ooh, I saw that bottle of Ramune. Speaking of popping caps.
wait, no, Scott. You
The one
remember
that mysteriously appeared in my
no, it's
fridge.
possessed, and you know that you shouldn't touch it.
But it's green.
Take drink it at your own risk.
I will.
Anyways, Taylor, what have you been playing?
I haven't really been playing very interesting. I haven't really been playing all that much, since I've gotten back to college, just because, start of a new semester, got a lot of things to do. Hey,
I
I'm
should do
taking
things.
I'm taking organic chemistry. I don't want to hear your.
I'm taking
your
differential equations.
I don't want to hear your nonsense either.
It's not fun. Don't ever take it.
I don't plan on it. One, I've realized I'm never doing math again.
I mean,
I wish I was in your boat.
I wish
Yeah.
I could never do math again.
The only kind of calculus I hate more than mathematical calculus is renal calculus.
That sounds
Does
dirty.
that have to do with the
It's a-
kidneys?
It's a kidney stone. But yes, for Christmas, however, I did get Dragon Age Inquisition and Alien Isolation, which
These-
I played.
Were these the games that Lachlan gave you, or is that different?
I also got Dragon Age Origins from Lachlan, but yeah, no, these were different games that I got from my family and stuff. I haven't played very far into Alien Isolation, but I have played a bit of Dragon Age Inquisition, and it's quite fun.
I've heard that it's very repetitive and questy. Not even questy, like just irritating quest, I guess.
Yeah, it has a lot of weird side questy stuff, and it has like a weird thing where it like there's like a minimum amount of time you have to spend to do anything. Like it's weird. Like you have to like spend actual time having quests resolve themselves, and I'm not really a fan of that.
I don't
But-
think anyone would be. Part of the
No.
whole thing with video games is the fact that you kind of want them to do stuff for you in a way. It's a simulation more than a.
It'd
Hey,
be like
you're-
if you're playing like an RPG or something, and your character doesn't walk at an above normal speed most of the time.
I would quit. Wait, no, wait. You're saying that they don't normally?
Like they do normally, but like it'd be like if you played an RPG and they walked at like completely normal pace, because that would be really irritating.
I wouldn't want to do that. I would give up.
Yeah, that wouldn't be fun.
That's also apparently why everyone gets sick when they play things with Oculus Rift, because you're moving too fast and your brain is like, this isn't normal.
Oh dear God, everything's moving at the speed of sound. Stop.
Yeah. But yeah, I haven't played very much of Alien Isolation yet, just because it's a horror game, and I want to play it with other people and have it be scary and fun, kind of like playing PT. But I don't know, I'll probably get bored and play it at some point.
That's
Oh, I also got
I
a.
mean to buy that game.
I also completely forgot that I also got a 3DS over Christmas, and so
Hooray!
I've
You've
also
joined
been
the
playing.
club.
Yep, I've also been playing Smash Brothers and Fire Emblem Awakening, which is one of my favorite games now.
I really need to buy Fire Emblem. That's the game I've been meaning to get, as well as Majora's Mask whenever that comes out.
Fire
Yes.
Emblem's good, and I'm not all that great at it. Strategy's not always my thing.
Yeah,
I played the one that was in existence for the Game Boy Advanced, and it's like a lot of fun, and I just never bought the new one for whatever reason.
Not Taylor. God.
Everyone's
Hello,
also
I
in
will-
games tonight.
I will start again.
Okay. Just go through all that list again.
I will
No.
not.
Yeah, of course.
Garrett, what have you been playing? Don't lie.
Oh,
Don't lie.
World of Warcraft. Because Warlords of Draenor came out a while ago, and I wasn't sure how I'd feel about it, but I'd stopped playing a couple years ago because the game just got boring, and I could no longer take it seriously after Mists of Pandaria got released, because it was just a really dumb DLC that started as a joke, and then they're like, hey, you know what's a good idea? We'll make it into actual content and then get money for it, and that's what they did, and then it was dumb. But then Warlords of Draenor came out, my brother started playing it, and he recommended it, so I picked it up again. And then I guess that segues to Logan. What have you been playing lately?
Way too much World of Warcraft. Because some asshole in this call got me into it.
Language.
I mean, I'll put a
Yeah.
little sound over it.
This is a
Put a cat sound.
Some
Meow.
meow.
Oh god. Welcome back, Ray. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the podcast, Ray.
I mean, press.
I'm not editing that out, Ray.
He's not editing this out.
Anyways, yeah. So it's a fun adventure that I've been on. I decided to start off with what was it, Warrior?
Which is a decent class. You just played it wrong for the spec.
I guess I just played it wrong because I've played everything else just fine and
I was like, Logan, you should dual wield, and then you just didn't, and then you died a lot.
I died a lot. It was a mess, and it was just. But then I played a monk, and now I have a warlock, right?
Yeah.
I always forget for some reason, but yeah, so I have a warlock, and it's been fun. I'm trying to think if I've ever really played anything else. So I got a new graphics card. I got for Far Cry 4, which came with it.
You played that yet?
It looks really pretty, but I don't know. It just like.
Not your style of game.
It's not that it's not my style. It's just I haven't had a whole lot of time. I feel like with starting school back, I've just been kind of trying to get back.
And getting sucked into the void of MMORPGs.
And getting sucked into the void of since I already play League with you guys, so we play League, and now I have World of Warcraft. I mean, literally, I don't have.
To eat your time.
I don't have things to do outside of like when I have free time. I'm playing Warcraft or League of Legends. So there's not a whole lot of time that's left. I recently bought. I managed to get my hands on Conker's Bad Fur Day for the N64 because that's part of the things that I've been collecting recently, and that's a new thing that I've added to my collection. So I'm really excited about that. I know I'll finally get to play it. So that'll be something for the future. That'll be a thing for future podcasts that you'll hear about. Yeah, so it's been crazy things of stuff I said I would never do. Oh, I also got Don't Starve Together,
which we should also play at some point because I have that.
Yeah, we will play that at some point.
I played it briefly with a friend, and either they've changed the game since I last played, and certain features just work differently, or like not all the features are available yet in the multiplayer version, which, as far as I'm aware, is still like not considered a final product.
It says beta for mine, so
yeah, then that's what it is.
But I've been playing it with Mitchell, and Mitchell just knows like every little detail about it. So basically, I don't ever have to worry about starving. Yeah,
I don't know a whole lot about the game, and so I'm pretty bad at it. Although I do hear that the crock pot is like the first thing you should do if you want to actually build a sustainable thing.
Yeah, Mitchell just gave like a list of things that you should do, and he's like, basically, you should get the fire pit first because that's basically a permanent fire. It'll never disappear, so you can just add fuel to it at any point. So is
the regular campfire. It's that it's a more efficient, I think.
Yeah,
I think that's how it works, anyways. Like the logs don't burn up as fast.
With the regular campfire, basically, like you have to continually put it down. Like if it goes out, you have to put down a new campfire. With the fire pit, you just With the fire pit, you just put it down, and at any point you can add logs to it, and the fire will start up again.
Yeah.
So it's much more efficient, but it's much more permanent. But he knows all the things about it, so he's kind of just gone, oh, here are the things. Just kind of said, go grab this stuff, go grab the wood, go grab this. We'll put it all together. Which, in a game like that, I'm not really all that sad about it, because it's like, hey, your whole point is survival. If someone really knows what they're doing, good.
Listen to them.
So, that's fun.
Because he's the type of person you would listen to in a real-life survival situation.
Nope.
He has all the weapons, though. So you could...
He has all the weapons.
You could kill him and take them all.
He has all the knives.
See, Scott is the one you should listen to in a survival situation. Just kill everyone and take their stuff.
I mean, sometimes that's how you gotta live. So...
That's DayZ logic right there. Just kill everyone else and take their stuff.
I mean...
if everyone else dies...
You have really good stuff.
I mean, if everyone else dies, then you, by default, become the best at surviving. Just saying.
This is true.
So moving on to video game related news, because that's kind of why we're here.
Oh god.
Is it? When did this happen?
I don't know. I think some point in like the last 10 minutes maybe. So
you can't just spring these format changes on us like this without a memo ahead of time.
I'm sorry. I
tell you didn't get the memo?
Oh yeah. Did you not get the memo? Like I've sent one to Scott and Garrett.
I wasn't aware this was happening so soon.
It was in like a manila envelope. I sent it to their like rooms. It had like a proper address, handwritten. Oh, that's probably why you didn't know, because I mean,
you
my
printed it out in crayon.
We printed it out in crayon. I drew a little picture of you on there, Taylor, like stick figure you.
Oh, the other day,
is that what that was? I thought the government had caught up to me about my taxes, so I just burned it and didn't look at it.
One of my teachers the other day told us to grade our papers in crayon. He was
good.
like, "Do you guys have a pen or marker or crayon?" We were like,
Oh yeah, I just regularly carry around crayons.
pack of crayons in my little art box that I take to
Take to college classes
college.
with me. So getting into the stuff of the meat of the burger that we have created here,
These metaphors are off the chain.
right?
Even you could even say that
Is
they're
that
off the
even, like,
grill.
an expression people use anymore?
It's one I use. I still regularly call things radical, so...
Speaking
Yeah,
of
that's
Taylor
right.
and being a nerd, why don't you tell us anything that you about the new updates to League of Legends?
Just everything? Okay, then.
Any should just generalize it for us.
Okay, well, they stuck in the Zizzarat portal, or whatever, however you pronounce it.
The
and
amazing portal.
It's the greatest.
we've discovered that it is amazing and horrible. Just... You guys aren't allowed to both take it at once anymore.
Yes, we are. We need 5 of them
We do.
for
Just-
maximum lane pushing power.
What was it? It was, Scott as Garen, and Garrett as a Scion, and it's just disgusting. Having the 2 completely unkillable champions running around planting these stupid portals in bushes.
When Valkyrie used all of his abilities and his ult on me, I would almost die.
Yeah, and
Almost being the key word there.
And that was the Vel'Koz that had been fed by our terrible LeBlanc for the beginning of the game. So,
I still think that's like an
welcome to
oxymoron.
welcome to the League of Legends recap of our games podcast.
I think our games are hilarious. We should stream them,
Totally
and everyone will be amazed by our skill.
Or lack
just-
thereof.
We'll just be like Kiora. I mean,
The
Kiora.
Twitch link is down below. It's,
That was
twitch.tv/Legions of Clod, League of Legends.
.nothappening.com.
This is all an elaborate ruse.
Oh god. But yeah, that was the thing that they added.
The portal is really ridiculously good right now, and is probably going to be nerfed.
Oh, it's definitely going to be nerfed.
I would imagine so. It does fall off later in the game just because the inner turrets immediately kill the little things it spits out.
But you can easily push out lanes, like, when no one's paying attention. You'll just suddenly lose a turret and be like, I don't know what happened. And then you find the portal, and then everything becomes suddenly clear.
Oh god, I hope she doesn't notice that these things are popping out of this bush.
I think she noticed.
Oh god. But yeah, it seems to be really good for any sort of tanky champion like Garen or Scion, or I think Scott played Lee Sin at one point with it.
The damage of the minions scales with magic resist and armor.
Wow. Okay, so it is very designed
it's
for
a
tank
very
champion.
tanks, and it gives you 50 magic resist and 50 armor when you first buy it, giving you an automatic 50 damage.
Wait, it's equal to your magic resist? Oh, I mean,
Well,
I
no,
guess
It's
that's
scaled, 25 and 25,
Oh, okay.
because you get 50 of each resistance.
Wow. Well then.
Yeah.
So
It also
yeah,
increases your base health regeneration by 100% or 125%. I'm not sure. It's really
It's
a
100.
very
Yeah,
good
which
tank,
it's why last night when I was Garen that my health regen was more than when you're inside the fountain.
It synergizes really well with Garen.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very good for split pushing type things, or
Bum rush
Yeah.
in the middle.
Or
Bump
being an
rush.
all-around annoying person.
just making it so that even if you're not winning, your opponents are not happy about the game that they're playing.
That's what
That's League of
matters.
Legends in a
That's
nutshell.
what League of Legends is all about. Let's see. They did some changes to Smite, which is not interesting to anyone except Garrett.
Just jungling.
Yeah, the charge systems and stuff. They added base gates, which
Base gates.
I finally
Has-
that's what they're for.
yep,
It's just
Which-
like escaping a fight without having to flash over the wall.
which I haven't really seen them used to that great of an effect so far.
Do you get vision through them?
You do not.
Okay.
I think the reason why, though, and I think the other thing with the portal is last night, I know we only played 2 or 3 games, but no one used the portal other than us. The other team did not use the portal.
Because they
Even
even the patch notes.
And I think part of it's just like since these things are so new that people are still getting adjusted to them.
Yeah.
Like, because I can tell you, last night I think I used the gate once, and it wasn't even to escape a fight. It was just like, oh hey, there's a gate here. That's kind of what it was. So.
I hope that the other team was really confused at what the portal thing was.
It's like, what kind of hack is this? It seems so... Oh god.
Wait, there are voidlings and I forgot his name.
Malzahar?
Malzahar. Good, I got it right. Malzahar.
Almost.
Yeah, I almost did it. Story of my life.
You just gotta believe.
You tried.
Believe it! Anyways.
Yeah, and then there are a bunch of stat changes for champions that aren't
That's
particularly interesting.
Quote-unquote balance characters, even though it probably horribly unbalanced someone else.
Riot likes to nerf everybody all the time, and then just make items better.
Yeah, better nerf Aurelia. Or something. I think that's
But
the
Hot
joke.
is dead. He's overpowered and we acknowledge it, but let's not nerf him yet.
I feel kind of vindicated for seeing that, and yet...
And yet it didn't help when we played against Zed.
Didn't we play against him like twice?
And a Talon.
Oh yeah, Zed and...
Zed and Talon in the same game. Because
I hate
nothing's
it.
more fun than that.
I hate everything.
It was the equivalent to a gun being shot through your brain, basically.
Pretty much.
And not the bullet, like the actual gun was shot through your head.
By a
Much
different
more
gun.
destructive. The gun specifically designed to fire guns.
Yep.
And then that gun fires knives.
Basically, you just don't have a head anymore. That's the moral of the story.
Or happiness.
So, in other news, League of Legends is a fun game, and I enjoy playing it.
We've been talking about it for a long time.
Continuing on the League of Legends train, another school has now offered scholarships for people who play League of Legends.
And which school is that?
I have no idea. I did not actually look this up.
Not yours.
Oh my god.
I haven't done enough research yet, but as you can see, I have a thing, but that's just one of those things where like the concept to me is great, but at the same time, like, what the hell?
It's gonna be like all those really small schools that they only have like 7,000 students.
But I mean, like, the thing is, like, it's a great concept in one way, but like for me, I think, yeah, you give me a scholarship to play a video game, I'm not gonna do any schoolwork.
I mean,
brought me into your
playing. It's probably not like spend 7 hours a day doing this.
yeah, it's kind of like, I mean, if you can get scholarships for kicking a ball around a field, I can imagine...
But I mean, think about how much work and, like,
Taylor,
practice...
you made all of the soccer fans hate you.
But I mean, think about how much practice you have to put into, soccer games, or just any sports thing. You have the games, which not only are just, like, whatever, I mean, you're gone a lot whenever you have to do sports and stuff. Which is why, you know, like, scholarships in general are already kind of a more confusing thing, because it's like you're getting paid to go to the school because we want you to play on our sports team. And, Taylor, I know your school got in a lot of trouble because they...
Made upgrades.
Because they were like, oh yeah, here's
Less
the class
exists.
that doesn't actually exist, but we're going to say it exists so we can get our sports players. But, I mean, you have to put a lot of time into it, and with League of Legends, it's the same thing. Like, if you want to be really good, and I imagine you have to be somewhat good to get a scholarship, it's like, you're going to have to put a lot of time into playing, and that's a lot of your free time put into playing this game. You've got the tournaments and stuff. I mean, that's a lot of time to take away from school, especially for something that a lot of people already get mad. I know my parents get mad about, you know, taking time away from school to play a game or something. It's not that it's a bad concept, it's just interesting to see kind of where we are. And
I mean, just overall, it is just kind of like the shifting culture around esports and video games used in sort of a competitive fashion. Because, like, if we just look at any kind of sport, it is just a game. Like, I know I said kicking a ball around a field, but that's the same kind of logic where people go, oh, they're getting paid to just play a video game. Like,
that's true.
It doesn't matter how hard or easy something is. At the end of the day, they're both things that we do
It's
that don't
just a
really
source of
have
entertainment, but has no impact on the world other than that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like we're not.
Scholarships are
not
interesting.
gonna cure AIDS or cancer with sports or video games.
Yeah, and a lot of the time the video, and not to start like a war or have me be assassinated in my sleep for saying stuff like that. But scholarships are
Bye,
also
Scott.
scholarships are also another good way for people who like don't do school well, I guess is the way. Because you know what I mean, like people who aren't very geared academically, but they are geared towards something else. It's a chance for them to get into an institution that they might not be able to get into otherwise. Which is fine.
It's a very confusing subject, and I think regardless to it's not so much just the League of Legends thing. Scholarships in general seem to be a pretty interesting thing to start talking about. But
Yeah, continue.
I was just gonna say, going along with it's kind of something else I was gonna put on the list, but going along with the esports thing, I mean, they even have what is it, fantasy, LCS now.
I don't know what LCS stands for.
I don't either actually.
League something.
Competitive something.
It's basically it's more or less a fantasy version of League. You pick the support, the team that you want to be every week or whatever. It's like fantasy football, just instead of it being for football, and they have it for NASCAR too. They also have it for my dad has done fantasy NASCAR. Just
it stands for.
The idea of that entertains me.
It stands for League of Legends Championship Series.
Yeah, so
or liquid cooling system according to Google.
Yeah, but
Or let's cry slowly.
What League of Legends actually is.
Pretty much.
that's where esports are moving. Is they're becoming an actual thing, like a very kind of not very known thing, but they're becoming much bigger. I mean, they were on a certain ESPN at one point, weren't they?
They were on ESPN. ESPN 4, I think. They played the championship series. Yeah, it was at a weird hour just because it took place in I think Korea. I don't know. But still, the fact that it got on a major being ESPN 4, but it's better than nothing.
Better than not being aired.
Baby steps towards legitimacy of esports and stuff, which is always good.
Yeah, and it's just a different cultural shift, and it's a very interesting thing to see, people moving towards all this stuff. And along with that, Riot is also, and I think someone else needs to look this up for me so that I can get this accurate, say this accurately. But they're getting their own form of I can't exactly say it, but you're gonna connect to Riot somehow, so the internet is better for you. And that it causes less disconnection because of your internet provider or whatever. It's supposed to help out with keeping less disconnects from games and stuff, because some of the problems could be people lag. I know Garrett and Ray their internet's kind of sometimes.
It's fast, but we'll occasionally get terrible lag spikes where there's about 2 seconds the game just freezes up and then we all end up dead.
Yeah, I guess I remember seeing something about it, but I can't find it now just because it's League of Legends server thing, and it's just server status and stuff. But I do remember them saying something about migrating to more advanced server type dealies.
So that's going to be a thing that'll be interesting when it happens. It'll give a lot less of the people can't really just disappear or not connect for 10 minutes in the game, and
or you can be Corky, do poorly, and imagine just decide to quit anyways.
Disappointment. So moving away from this League of Legends, 30 minutes of League of Legends basically. Actually, it's more 15 minutes, but whatever. Gonna move on to Blizzard now. And Blizzard's new thing that they talked about, Overwatch, being the kind of, a lot of people said Team Fortress 2 type thing, their FPS game that they're coming out with, has gotten in some trouble because of its trademarks.
No.
That did not take long.
Wait, why?
Basically,
what?
Someone else, a paintball mobile game, for the phone or, tablet, is already called Overwatch. It's either paintball or snowball. I want to say it's paintball, though. So yeah,
I would imagine it would be a paintball thing. It's a snowball.
Because Blizzard can't buy their way out of that situation.
Well, and that's what the article I read said. Is a lot of it was just like it's not like this is gonna be that big of a deal. Either they can just come up with a new name, or they just buy out the company and be like, "Hey, here's a couple $1 million. We own your company now."
If I was Blizzard, though, I just wouldn't do that out of spite. Be like, oh, you want something out of the situation? It's too bad.
But it was actually Blizzard's fault in this case. They're the lawyer behind the trade, the copyright and stuff, actually messed up. So
yeah.
It is kind of a.
They should just be able to change their name, though, couldn't they? And just be like, oh, sorry, we messed up. We're changing our name so as not to infringe on you.
Yeah, they can change their name, or they can, be stubborn and be like, no, we really like this name, and we're going to stick with it. And a lot of the comments I saw, like, a lot of people weren't necessarily thrilled with the name Overwatch, so they were like, well, we can come up with a new name. Which, I'm not really for or against a new name. I mean...
What if they come up with a really awesome one as a result of the situation?
I mean, that'd be cool. Like, it's for me, it's like... It's not a bad name now, but they could come up with something better. They could definitely come up with something worse. So let's hope they don't go to worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they could presumably come up with a name with Overwatch in it, I would imagine, as long as it's not too similar.
Couldn't they like Blizzard's Overwatch?
Or like Grand Overwatch?
Or something, I don't know. Just because the like the organization in the actual story is named Overwatch. So they could come up with something that involves the name Overwatch, I'd imagine.
They'll find a loophole.
Yeah.
It's a very large, wealthy company.
Yeah, they're going to figure it out. I mean...
It's like, nope, we just gotta abandon this whole game.
Because of these indie developers and their paintball game.
Yeah, yep. I mean, they've already said that they're working on trying to fix it, like figure out something for it. So they're getting somewhere with it.
Which, I mean, I'm glad that it wasn't just an immediate like, oh, the other Overwatch is just overturned because it's Blizzard and they have a lot of money to throw around. I like that they set the precedent of just, they put it in first, thus they get the proper trademark.
Yeah. So that's some fun legal stuff that gets to go on with the Blizzard team, which is something I would never want to have to deal with.
Well, you violated about 20 trademarks in this podcast.
Woo!
Congratulations.
Damn it.
Blizzard's Thought Police is on the way now.
Good night, everybody.
And then we never heard from Logan again. Can I have your new graphics card?
No.
You just see the
leave like $350 on my grave.
Well, I mean, if you're dead, you don't need it.
I mean, this is true.
I mean, the ancient Egyptians thought that, you should bury yourself with all your money because you'll need it in the afterlife.
Yeah. So bury me with my money. That means you're gonna owe me money, Garrett.
Yeah.
Why? Why would I owe you money?
Alternatively, you could go with the ancient Greek interpretation where you have to put coins on their eyes to pay Sharon to get across the
2 pennies.
The river Styx. Yeah, and $300 is probably enough. I don't think Sharon takes drachma anymore, so...
What am I gonna do with $300 worth of quarters?
Sharon, do you take debit cards? American Express, maybe?
We take payment in paper or plastic.
Or gold.
Yes.
We take payments in doubloons now.
And I feel like I am completely mispronouncing his name.
Sharon?
Yeah.
No, that's right.
It's weird. Okay, anyways.
Okay, I just looked up the Overwatch thing. Both Overwatch trademarks were suspended on January 9th, 2015. Pending the ultimate disposition of the applications, apparently. So it looks like they're both potentially
at risk.
Yeah.
Fun.
Which is kind of hilarious because they did come up with it first, and now Blizzard's.
Wait, how does that work?
I don't know.
Like, did they just sue each other and then they both lost?
I don't know. Apparently, this could mean Overwatch is rebranding in the future. However, Blizzard can choose to appeal the suspension to keep the name. Alternatively, it could win out over the competition following the disposition, which actually applied for the trademark earlier than Blizzard.
Or just buy them, because regardless of what you say, you can be bought out of money.
So it looks like they're both potentially going to lose it here, but no one really knows who's going to come out on top.
There was just a legal dispute, and the judge.
One of them will win, but it seems like, yes, the people who did it originally have a chance of losing their trademark, and Blizzard just wins because they're Blizzard.
Oh.
Fun.
Well, that sucks. There's just a legal dispute, and the judge declares it a stalemate.
It's like, neither of you can have the name now.
The tie.
The judge is literally just sitting there going, "Look, I don't give a crap about either of your games, so you both lose."
I've never had seen
Court
such a
dismissed.
fierce
Bring in
battle
the
of-
dancing lobsters.
God.
And then there was dancing lobsters in the courtroom, and everybody was happy. So, Telltale is apparently coming out with their own original IP. So that's a cool thing. Since Telltale has mostly done other games from other places, being like they've done Borderlands recently, The Walking Dead, Game of Thrones. I think Wolf Among Us is one as well, wasn't it?
It's from a comic called Fables.
Right, so everything that they've done has been something else, which isn't a problem. I mean, they've done fabulous with all the stuff. And I think, didn't they hold true to the Walking Dead comics more than the show?
I think so. I haven't really done any of them, but it seems like they're closer to the comics. I remember one of the characters from the first season was in the comics, and then there was also a character from the TV show. So
yeah, and I know that I know Glenn was a comic book favorite, so that's why they put him in the show and thing. I haven't kept up with The Walking Dead at this point. I have no idea about anything coming from The Walking Dead anymore. But I know that Scott and I have both played the Borderlands game, and we've rather enjoyed the first part of it.
Did you ever finish that?
No, still need to do that.
Well, okay.
I'm sorry. There's a lot of things going on. World of Warcraft happened. Basically, World of Warcraft happened. That's a lot of things that's going on.
I mean, the entire thing's would only takes like 2.5 hours.
And I sat down for like an hour of it. Got through the Rise's part or Reese. I got Reese's part.
Spoilers.
So I have to get through. I mean,
Spoilers. The guy's name's Reese.
I mean, it's basically you know that you're gonna play as both the characters, so it's not like a spoiler. It's just
I actually forgot about that when I played through it, so I was really confused.
Spoilers.
Shut up,
Logan
Garrett.
spoiled it for Scott.
Oh God, you spoiled it for me, Logan.
Even though I'm the one who hasn't finished the what?
Logan, I can't forgive you for this. I'm just gonna.
Well, this is the last episode we see Scott on this podcast, because he's forever gonna hold a grudge against me for this.
You deserve it.
But yeah, so that'll be interesting to see Telltale come up with their own little IP for a game like that.
Actually, yeah, I'm kind of interested in how that's gonna go.
Yeah, that'll be fun. They probably got writers together on it and stuff, and the writers are probably crying coming up with things right now.
Was the Wolf Among Us based on something else then?
Yeah. Jeez.
I mean, I know it's fairy tale based, but like.
Jeez, Garrett, were you not here like 2 minutes ago when Taylor told us what it was from?
No.
yeah, it's a comic series called Fables.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I got distracted by Ray.
Damn it, Ray.
I apologize.
Um.
Ray, I just blamed you in the podcast.
I hear.
Yay! He's audible.
Okay.
Of course, he is. This stupid mic picks up everything.
Yeah, but so that's basically all about that I know. Really care to know right now. So there's also going to be a new Fire Emblem game.
Huzzah!
Is it gonna be in the same style as the current?
Yes.
Though they have feet now, which is apparently a thing. Because in Fire Emblem Awakening, the the style of the various characters, they had like little cone feet, just because they didn't think that the 3DS could handle like the graphical fidelity that they were planning. So they're like, okay, let's just take the feet out. Maybe that'll
When
reduce
Super
it.
Smash Brothers happened, and they're like, "Wow, this system is pretty strong."
Except for Super Smash Brothers eats your thing's RAM alive.
That's why you have to buy the new 3DS.
Yeah, that's the next thing on the list actually.
Is it really?
That and Majora's Mask.
I assume the Majora's Mask edition is going to be the new 3DS?
It's the new 3DS, and in my opinion, it's ugly, and I hate that.
The new 3DS or the Majora's Mask version?
The Majora's Mask version. It's
Don't
ugly.
buy it.
And I'm so sad about that.
Honestly, don't buy it and then just do like your own custom paint job. You can. People do all the time.
I mean, I already have my, I got the one from the Link Between Worlds, which is an awesome one, but it's like
Yeah.
first off, I was told a while ago that it was going to be a purple 3DS, and that was like the greatest news to me. I was like, oh yeah,
purple.
it's not. It's
Really?
gold. It's gold, and what it's like, but what it is a gold 3DS XL, new 3DS XL. Sorry, it's got the Majora's Mask in the middle, and it's a cool gradient kind of thing, but it's like a sticker. It looks like a sticker was put
The
on.
pictures I found are purple.
Those
And
are not the real ones.
Oh.
If you actually look up the official, like, go to the Zelda website, like, actually look up the Majora's Mask website, like the official website, and look at it, and you'll see. And it's a cool concept. I just think it's ugly. It's just a personal thing, like, and I really hate that. But
Is it Zelda.com/Majora's Mask? Okay.
and you'll see the you'll
I'm
see
totally buying the game though.
Oh, I mean, 100% buying the game. Like, there's no denying that. Scott, you said it's basically unavailable right now, right?
What?
You said the Majora's Mask is the new 3DS.
Oh, it is gold.
Yeah, my brother is currently trying to pre-order it, and he's called like 6 different GameStops.
None of them have it.
No.
It's gold and gray.
I mean, none of them have it. Nowhere has it, but like the point, the pre-orders have sold out.
Yeah,
Right.
like actually, when I looked this up, like one of the Let's Players I watched, he tweeted something out about it, and then I went to see like something Kotaku, I think, had an article about it, and they basically had an update where they were like, Best Buy's now selling them, get out there, and by literally 10 minutes after that article was posted, it was sold out already. 10 minutes after that article was sold out, it was gone. So I mean, it makes perfect sense. I mean, it's Majora's Mask, which is unanimously like the best.
So is Majora's Mask sold out or just the special edition?
Special edition, sorry. The
Okay.
Special edition. And it's a new 3DS, which, you know, everybody kind of wants to jump on that boat. Not
How
everybody.
much is the new 3DS?
Probably the same price. I don't actually know.
Which is what? I honestly don't remember how much it paid. Was it
200, I believe.
For the XL or standard?
XL.
I wonder how much. Like,
I don't know.
like right now, I don't use my 3DS very much, but I'm assuming the new 3DS is also going to have better hardware?
It's Scott.
Or the same?
Why is this now the time that you choose to be quiet?
Because I'm eating.
Stop eating.
So is the new 3DS, they're going to have new hardware, Scott, do you know?
Yes.
So it's going to be more powerful thing.
It's got. I mean, I don't know the actual specs. I'm pretty sure they keep those pretty low key, but
And that's relatively irrelevant, though. I mean, as long as there's going to be, like...
it does. They have
noticeable-
like that is one of its big selling points is that it does have a more powerful processor.
And a
They have,
C-stick.
like, and a C-stick and more trigger buttons, which is cool.
They
And
fixed up the interface on it too, like the home button and stuff isn't like a giant bar at the bottom. The home button's actually a button.
Oh, yeah,
I think,
it's not a...
and I think the games go in the bottom of it now, or
Yeah.
something goes in the bottom of
There's
it.
a little slot for them now.
And I might actually get one. When is it
Yeah.
coming out, the new 3DS?
February.
February, yeah. So I'm totally gonna look at getting a new the new 3DS. It's just I'm really disappointed in.
I'll probably do it this summer. when
I'm
actually
really
having a
disappointed
job.
in the Majora's Mask.
So you said it was originally gonna be purple.
I was
That
told
was the
it
original rumor, I guess, and whenever I googled pictures, like, there were a bunch of purple versions. Either they changed it, or that was never confirmed, and, like, they
Well,
just
and-
never went with it.
And like I said, the reason I have the biggest problem with it is because like whereas like a lot of the other things, like the Smash Brothers one, even though I don't like the design of it that much, like the artwork on it was cool. It was very unique looking. If you look at the artwork for the Majora's Mask one, it looks kind of like there was a really, you know how iron-on things for shirts look?
Yeah.
It looks like kind of that was put on top of a gold new 3DS.
I mean, that's probably how they make those.
I mean, like with
To
the,
be honest.
with the one that I have, it's like the it's the gold one, but the Triforce on the sides, like it's a slightly darker gold, so it looks like two different colors, and then in the other cases, it's
It's like a
very-
two-tone thing.
it's just not a very pretty looking one. And
Yeah.
it's a personal opinion more than.
I mean, at the end of the day, we still don't have nearly as many cool designs of 3DSs as Japan does. So,
Can you get theirs? Or is it just not in English, period?
I mean, that, and it's also region locked.
Yay, region locking!
That's dumb.
You might be able to get it in English, though, but of course none of the games will be. But They just like because the other thing is that there's two new 3DSs. There's an XL version and a smaller version that has customizable faceplates, and that version will not be released in North America, at least not at the same time as the XL version. Which, like, not that I was considering that one anyway, since it's still a smaller version, but
Well, it's probably
some people are mad.
Nintendo would not be the company to like do stuff like that. But I mean,
Yeah,
they've always been.
It's entirely
Strange.
probably because Japan is way more gung ho about their handhelds. Like the Vita and the PSP were giant successes, and they're like a huge thing in Japan. And here, like the PSP was a big thing, sort of, but the Vita is like completely swept under the rug.
The Vita is basically a colossal failure.
And like everyone has DSs, so they make like they make so many versions of the DSs. Like there's Persona 3DS, there's like 3 Love Plus 3DSs. I don't even know what that is, but they have Animu girls carved into them. There's actually like 5 Persona 3DSs, which is pretty neat, you know. And there's some Final Fantasy 3DSs. It's like they have all the cool ones. We have like 4 colors.
Yeah.
Granted, I don't exactly mind having the black 3DS because I honestly like the looks of it. Although I might try and figure out how to do a custom decal or like order one because I know that you can buy like skins for this type of thing from the internet.
yeah.
And like even like a vinyl sticker would work just fine. Like if you get the right size vinyl sticker,
And just make sure you put it on as well. Of one of those dumb balls.
There was a little bit of a lag spike there.
Well, you know, like when you put stickers, if you just don't do it really carefully, you have like that small bubble that will never go away.
Yeah.
I hate it. I have one on my laptop sticker.
Yeah, vinyl. I mean, and it's not that big of a deal to like not get this, but it's just like, God, that thing sold out immediately, and it was just gone. But yeah, I'm probably gonna grab a new 3DS whenever they come out, and I'll have two 3DSs.
If I get a new one, I'd probably just sell my old one because I'm sure some people are gonna want to buy the old XL because they just don't have it.
Oh, if you trade it in, you get $100 off.
Oh, that's significant.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only
if it's an XL.
Yeah, it is. So it's only gonna cost like $100 for the new one.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
Well, yours is a special edition.
I can't. Yeah, I can't do that. Special edition. I cannot give that up.
Mine is the regular, so I can like get the new version, just like black and XL, and yeah, I'll do that.
But
well, I might try and still sell it for like $150 just to see if I can, and then if I do, it's like the new one only costs $50.
so yeah, another news talking about old things being made newish. There's a possibility for a new Banjo-Kazooie. The Rareware has actually said some things about that being re-released, and I know a while ago you got Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, and there was supposed to be Banjo 3, but Banjo 3 never got released.
Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts came out.
And then Nuts and Bolts happened, and
that was a fun game.
Everyone was sad.
Not gonna lie, that was a really fun game.
Everyone was sad.
Yeah. I never played Banjo-Tooie. Played the first one all the way through.
Yeah, apparently it's supposedly they're going to release it back in like the old style. Like they are like, we definitely have plans for this. There were great, things for our company or something. So that could happen. Conker also had like a little hint that he may be remade, which actually terrifies me more than it makes me happy. Because I feel like Conker was one of those things of like he was made really good at one point, and then I'm gonna end up talking to myself, and this is gonna be awkward. But I feel like Conker was made very very unique for the time. It was one of the things about it was the fact that it was so raunchy and so like out there. For it was like an N64 game that was basically M-rated. So a lot of people bought it for their kids and were like, "Yay, look, fun game about a cute little squirrel." And the first thing you do is get drunk off your ass. So yeah, a lot of kiddies probably a lot of parents probably weren't very happy on Christmas morning when they bought all that for their kids, and their kids opened it up and were like, "Yay!" Then they played that, and I was like, "Oh, this is not what I was hoping for." So, yeah, that's basically all I have on that. again with more new things that were old that are being remade. The Silent Hill. Well, there goes my brain.
The new Silent Hill looks terrifying, but we talked about that in a previous podcast.
Yeah, but Resident Evil, the remake of the remake, is being released sometime within the next week. So on PC and stuff. So that's gonna be awesome. Having the original Resident Evil, which I've never played, actually. I will admit that I have never played Resident
Evil. Like the camera angles are all locked and you're like basically on rails, right?
It was not very good when it first came out.
I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because apparently like the really bad camera angles also sort of add a cinematic quality to it, which makes the game more frightening, just because like you don't have control over it as much, and it's more like you're just sort of stuck in the situation you're in.
But I mean the original Silent Hill had the like locked camera angles and stuff. So
Resident Evil 4 was the first Resident Evil game to have like a good controllable camera system, wasn't it?
I'm not sure. I don't know a whole lot about the Resident Evil series, which is why I want to get this game so that I can actually start learning about it.
Just about Resident Evil 6 is the best one.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it wasn't a bad game if you don't take it too seriously. Like, it's a really funny game to play.
Yeah, well, that's, yeah. But yeah, so that comes out soon. So there's a remake of a remake, which will be great for all the people who've never played it before.
Although,
cool.
Gotta say, I'm not a fan of, like, the number of remake of things that's happening right now.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, this past year, it's become a huge thing.
See, and I would have less of an argument, like, less of a problem with it, if it were more of, like, hey guys, we're making a bunch of remakes of games, but we're also releasing new games, too, that are really great, and you're, like, instant classics.
Instead, it's like, here's The Last of Us, which is a few months old. And now they're releasing The Last of Us Remastered, which is like, okay.
See, and to me, there's a difference in, like, like when they remade, like, Majora's Mask or this new Resident Evil. That's okay to me because it's like we're taking something that was years old and bringing it back. But when it's something like The Last of Us, where it's like, hey guys, we released this game not even a full year ago, and here we are releasing a HD version. Hey guys, did you get that one version that we released 10 months ago? Here's a new version. It's like, whoa, guys, calm down.
Like, I'm okay with it sometimes. Like, with Grand Theft Auto 5, they did do it for, like, the new generation of consoles, same as The Last of Us, which I think is kind of dumb. But at the same time, I kind of never understand it, because Grand Theft Auto 5 is a game that wasn't out on PC, but they're making for PC, and so I guess it's sort of just something they could do in the process, and it's kind of different because they're, like, releasing it on a completely different platform instead of just a different generation. But
yeah,
still,
like, there are some exceptions to it, but it's kind of like...
Still be more pleased if they just released everything for, like, all the systems they want to do in the first place, instead of just relabeling it and then raising the price back up to the original thing after it's an older game.
Yeah. Marketing's a mess.
But of course, some people don't care, and that's fine too. It's all opinions.
It's marketing, and marketing's a mess.
Economics, profit margins, all that jazz.
So, one of the things that not many people really knew too much about was in the new Smash Brothers, the character Shulk, who just kind of came out of nowhere in a way.
He's fun, but really hard to play.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, not a lot of people know about his game that he originally came from.
He was in a game?
Yeah. And
Xenoblade.
And the reason why that game is so unknown is because it was actually never released in America.
Was the sequel released in America?
The current sequel is actually what the news thing is about. They actually have an American trailer for it.
Oh, okay. Because I knew that it was only released in Europe, the original. But then I thought I heard something about how, like, the sequel was then released in America. So I was like, wait, what have they done?
Yeah. So one of the things about the original Xenoblade is that it was only released over in Europe. We did not get a copy of it, which is very strange because actually Europe usually is the one who gets bumped out of things. They often do not get what we get over here. There are a lot of games that the European people have to either import or something like that. Yeah, so the Xenoblade Chronicles X, which is the sequel game, or I'm not even sure if it's a sequel game. Regardless, it's coming out for the Wii U, and the trailer, the American trailer, was released a couple of days ago. So we're supposedly going to get that in America now, which is great. So now people can get into the Xenoblade series.
And play Shulk in his actual game.
Actually, I'm not sure if Shulk's in it this time around.
No.
I don't know what the storyline is, so it may be new characters, it may not be. I don't really know if Shulk's involved in this part, because I don't know a whole lot about Xenoblade stuff. All I know is that it's kind of turn-based RPG thing, and I'm not all that into that kind of... It's not turn-based RPG.
And then all 10 of our listeners were mad at our lack of knowledge of video games.
It's one of those, it's also one of those, like, you have, like, 6 people, make a team of 4 out of them, and fight things type of game.
Yeah.
So, like Shulk can not be a part of the game, in theory.
He can definitely be... And he'll still be in, like, cutscene and stuff, because he's essential to the story. Because he's the motto.
I don't know how it works. I just watched, like, a couple of videos about it, and I was like, oh, man, that's a thing.
And the thing is, it's like it works off of a party system, but unlike the, I guess, Kingdom Hearts party system, it's not you can actually trade out Shulk. So I don't think you have to fight as Shulk or have Shulk in your
Oh, no, yeah. You don't have to. You can control whoever you want in the party, from what I could see. Like, you can choose to have Shulk be CPU controlled, or you can control him. It's kind of like how in Final Fantasy 13, how you don't have to Lightning's not the only playable character. Like, you can change your team captain, and it changes with the storyline and stuff too.
So that'll be a fun experience getting that. There's actually the classic controllers, or whatever they're called. What is it that you guys plug in when you play Brawl? Not Brawl.
Classic controllers.
Yeah, the classic controller.
Right.
It was they had a special edition red classic controller and a red Wiimote that came with that game originally. So some collector-y things for any collectors that might be listening. I'm just kidding.
You.
No one listens. Yeah, well, that's not high up on my list. So now we move to Scott to talk about a little bit about Kingdom Hearts. If you start going into the storyline, though,
we're at the bottom we're at the bottom of the barrel now, aren't we? No,
if you start going to storyline, we shut it down.
So I heard. I mean, I have no news except for, and this might not even be news. I might have just made this up because now I can't even remember where I heard this. But I think the Tetsuya Nomura released he released some sort of statement that when you take the statement and cross-analyze it with a supercomputer, it reveals that the idea is we will probably be hearing something else very soon. And some people are thinking it might be another trailer, it might be a release date announcement. The statement, I think, was it said something. We are going to. It said now that we're familiar with the Unreal 4 engine, because I think that was a lot of the production process was apparently them getting used to the Unreal engine, evidently, and because of that leak. Oh, that's the other thing. There was a Twitter incident with Bill Farmer, I think that's his name. He's the voice of Goofy, and he tweeted. He was "Oh, done with voice recording for Kingdom Hearts 3" or something like that. And then Square Enix made him take it down immediately afterwards, and he replaced it with something else that wasn't "sorry, I lied," but it was just "oh, I wasn't supposed to say that, so hey, here's another thing. Maybe you'll forget about the last thing." So that means that
a naked picture of me. Maybe.
Look, it's a naked picture of Goofy.
Oh God, please no.
But so that means that if that was an actual thing, then that means all the cut scenes are recorded, all the battle, sounds are recorded and stuff, which is a pretty big deal in terms of the game's progress. A lot of people that I've watched on YouTube that spend their lives analyzing these kind of trends are like, oh yeah, it's like 80 something percent sure that the game will come out in 2015 sometime. But then again, well, actually, no, I can't even compare it to Half-Life 3.
Also, future me, put a note to put a giant sensor bar over the goofy naked thing.
Okay. Yeah, and so that's fun, thinking that we're going to get another trailer, maybe a better trailer that uses the Unreal 4 engine and stuff.
Maybe they'll like sneak in some information about it possibly being for the PC.
Maybe.
And if it is, I'll buy it.
Because there hasn't even really been a trailer yet. There was just like a couple of scenes and then some gameplay footage of with the new engine, which looks fantastic, absolutely orgasmic, if you ask me. But so that's Kingdom Hearts. Other random news that nobody else but me cares about is that the third Corpse Party game has been all but confirmed for a North American release, so that's good. I'm super excited about that. And there was a third thing. I don't remember what it was, though. I mean, it's not even like, it's hardly video game news, but it is on Steam, so, that game, what was it called? Hunipop? Is that like, it's called Hunipop. It was that like visual novel that it's like an American-made thing with the girls that were like talking trash to each other in a mall. Do you remember? Jason's seen it one time. Yeah.
Absolutely no idea what's happening.
Damn it.
Continue talking.
If I sent it, you'd remember it. But it's a visual novel that some North American company made that's like, it's a dating sim, and they wanted to try and get closer to what closer to the behavioral patterns of real people in a dating sim. And so it's like anime style stuff, but like their dialogue and their personalities are closer to real girls and stuff.
So it's basically not, Oni-chan,
they're all trashy bitches, so it's
better.
Yeah, even better. But yeah, no, it's like girls having like verbal abuse sessions at each other.
That sounds kind of scary, really, because that's not something you want to be involved in.
Yeah, but that's all I got.
Now we've exhausted Scott's knowledge of anything. Oh goodness, we'll come back to that.
But yeah, you don't have to watch it right this minute, but it might pop your memory or spark your memory.
Pop your memory.
Pop my memory. So yeah, stuff happened with Hotline Miami in Australia.
Oh yes, it was. I got the hint.
Thanks. Good.
It was refused classification essentially. The ratings board in Australia refused to give it a rating, which effectively bans it because most places in Australia won't carry a game without it being rated. So, which is weird, despite the fact that they have a rating that is essentially, adults only level stuff, but they just refuse classification for it because Australia is ruled by a bunch of people who are living in the 18th century who just don't want to recognize.
It's ruled by.
It has a lot of. Their government is not great when it comes to dealing with less than.
Other than that, they're very strict about these things.
With their media that isn't perfectly clean and everything.
Australia and Germany are very strange about like their ratings of games and stuff. Like, what is acceptable in Germany? Like, what isn't acceptable in Germany and Australia? I've always find very interesting.
Yeah, and apparently the the Hotline Miami 2 developers have just said that people in Australia who want to acquire their game to just pirate it, like they encourage that.
Someone saw the Reddit post.
Yeah. I mean, that's where I get most of my news from. Shut up. But yeah, that's what they were encouraging them to just, get it through whatever means they want and don't really worry about, buying it.
They're basically like, just have fun with the game. It's not our
Yeah.
concern how you can
Which
buy
is
it.
exactly how I feel a lot more people should be, but, like,
Well, I mean,
there should be a money aspect to it as well, but, like, I feel like that, like, hey, we made this game and we'd really like you to enjoy it. Like, I feel like that should be a mindset of some more people.
Yeah, well, I mean, in an ideal world it would be, and like with a lot of indie games like Hotline Miami and stuff, you do get people who are, artistes who are just doing it for people to enjoy and to put out a game that's interesting and creative and good. But with a lot of more AAA games, like the resources that go into creating such games,
Are much more expensive.
Yeah.
it has to be run like a business, otherwise the companies would just collapse.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there is a definite give and take. I just wish that
I
little
wish
more.
that people like, Ubisoft and stuff like that kind of marketing where it's like, hey, we're going to release this game that we didn't even finish. Or, the tragic thing that I have to admit now is that Sonic Boom happened. Because the thing is, looking at that game, it has its potential. There is something in it that you could see that if they had just given it a couple more months, they could have actually turned it into a real game.
And taking away fall damage.
Does the game have fall damage?
Yes.
Okay.
Such a matter of fact answer, just yes.
Sonic
I mean,
Boom
it's a
completely
Sonic
ruined.
game. What's Sonic? At least I'm pretty sure it has fall damage. I was like, what? Because that was like my big thing. I was like, it's a Sonic game. It has fall damage. What kind of?
It's just this, like, it had these concepts that were great. Like, the ideas that could have gone into it were awesome. They just didn't finish working on it.
No, guys, we ran out of cocaine. Guess we got to release the game as is.
Yeah, that conversation.
It's just this whole thing. It's a mess. And I don't know if it's Sega or like just the Sonic development team, but I wish the Sonic development team would just take time. You already had Sonic 06, one of those games that people worked on and were just like, oh god, what have you done? Why have you done this to my Sonic? Then you had Generations, which was a good game. It was an actually legitimately good Sonic game that came out. I enjoyed it. I think a lot of people enjoyed it. It was good. It brought together two different versions of Sonic. The new 3D version of Sonic and the old 2D version together in a one game. It was great. I loved it. Then you come up to this stuff and it's just this like concept of like, I keep making the joke that I think at one point they're like, oh yeah, so I see that you got my beginning designs for the thing. When did you want the real ones in? Oh, we shipped the game yesterday. What? I feel like that's what happened with the development team. Is like the one person who was in charge of it, and like maybe it was like the more like businessy side of it was like they were like, oh yeah, well, just finished up some more sketches of the stuff. Do you want me to give them to you? Oh, we already shipped the game. It's unfinished and it makes me sad. But I know that like Ubisoft has been having problems with Assassin's Creed or whatever. Just
Yeah. 2014 was just not a good year for Ubisoft. Like, up until this point, they were kind of okay and kind of veering into, big evil company type deal. But, like, this year they've released what? They released Assassin's Creed Unity, which was just completely broken upon being released. Far Cry 4, which, while it was a good, okay-ish game, I guess, it really is just a Far Cry 3, like, skin. Like,
Yeah.
There's not that much difference between it and Far Cry 4, and it is just the Ubisoft, the Ubisoft open world game, where it's just, you drive around, you kill people, you do things to open parts of the map, you climb towers to unlock more things.
And I think that's kind of like, I mean, like, whenever I played the game, I wasn't, like, immediately turned off by it. It's just, like, that kind of concept, like, I knew where it was going. And then I think in the back of my mind, like, I just immediately kind of picked up on that. I'm like, I feel like at some point I'm going to stop enjoying this.
Yeah.
And
They also
so-
released Watch Dogs this year, which was the most overhyped game pretty much in history, I think. And it turned out to just be another generic open world action adventure video game.
Have you not heard of Destiny?
Oh yeah, that was the most overhyped game of all time. And it also was not as
It wasn't
as
a bad
good.
game by any means, just that it was, like, not
Overhyped.
to the extent that everyone was expecting.
But yeah, so, Ubisoft not have a good year. Turns out having direct corporate interference in the creation of video games is bad. And in other news, water is wet and the sun is hot. So,
Are we sure about that last one? I don't know. I've never touched the sun.
well, it radiates a lot of heat. That's why we're not a lifeless ball of rock. Because, the light is used for energy to create plants, and I'm a biologist.
Yeah.
Boulder Dash.
It would be like if you went outside, shined a flashlight in some random direction, and then the person on the other, assuming the world was flat, on the other side of the earth just caught fire. That's that's the analogy of the sun. Somewhere in there was like supposed to be somewhere in there was supposed to be just like an emphasis on how far we are from the sun, yet we can feel its heat type of thing. But
I'm just trying to like comprehend what just happened.
Shut
Yeah,
up. I'm like,
you kind of lost me when you was like, assuming the world was completely flat.
well, that's why I said, well, never mind.
It's okay. We understand.
Continuing on.
Regardless, I have said things before. I will say it again and again and again. But just companies do weird things to any series. Like, for instance, we have Taken 3 now. I don't even think we needed a Taken 2.
I remember Liam Neeson. I think he said something about how there can't be more Takens just because that's bad parenting. Like, how can your kids get kidnapped this many times?
Well, this time someone killed her mother and framed him for it. Regardless, it's stupid, and I'm tired of sequels. Like, there are points, and this is again a personal thing of I feel like sequels have their place, but you start to get to a point where you've made too many sequels and you need to stop before you get stupid, basically. Now, maybe the new Taken movie is, good. It may be great, but...
But then again, it probably won't.
Yeah, and then, and Disney, God, do Disney suffer from making sequels that don't need to be made? I mean, Disney's made a ton of them. We've moved on from video games into new things. But I mean, when I say sequels, I mean for everything, like games, movies, anything that has a sequel that doesn't really need it. Like, the original Mega Man games were fine. Like, there were tons of Mega Man games. But I don't think they were, like, exactly sequels. Like, I feel there's a difference when it's, like, you have the concept of, like, if they were to make a Shovel Knight 2, I'd be happy with that. God, would I be happy with that. And I'm like, even if they made multiple Shovel Knight games from, then on out, that, like, had kind of the same style to it, but they weren't trying to make this giant epic story out of it. I think that's where I have the problem.
Yeah.
It's
when the sequels are used to, generate new and enjoyable situations in the same vein as the original games, then it's okay, but when they're just cashing in, when it's like, oh, this thing's popular, let's make 50 bazillion more games.
Call of Duty.
Well, yes.
That's kind of what I liked about Dark Souls. They kept with their theme with the new one, but it was still a different game with its own story, and they just took the gameplay concepts and changed it up a little bit and made some of it simpler.
So now you have Demon Souls?
Demon Souls is the original, and
so
then
Demon Souls, Dark Souls, and then Dark Souls 2.
And then they're going to make Bloodborne. But we've talked about all of this in previous podcasts. We don't even have to talk about Demon Souls, but there's no need to go into detail about these games any further.
Basically, it's just that concept of it's kept changing.
It's been different while keeping the same things that players find appealing without just recycling old material.
And then you get into Square Enix, who just decides to take the most convoluted possible confusing mess of a story and throw it at you. I know.
And speaking of sequels, I don't think anyone was really asking for Lightning Returns. That I don't know why they're pushing Lightning. And like the Final Fantasy 13, like Lightning isn't an interesting character.
It's because of her armpits or whatever
But
that fetish is.
but Taylor, she's so deep.
No, she isn't.
She has a very troubled person.
You
She's
see
very-
Scott
So
put an
did
emphasis
literally-
on the p sound, the p sound. He put a real emphasis on that. Make sure that you understood that she's deep.
Yeah,
She's
deep.
just a generic angsty anti-hero type character. Like she's just grumpy. That's her thing. Like, why did she become
But Taylor, it's
Christ
because of her
this?
scarred psyche.
A lot of characters have scarred psyches. Like, why is she so? Oh God! Can they just let Final Fantasy 13 die already? I'm tired
Can
of
we
hearing
just-
about it.
Can we just make a dating sim where you look at Lightning's armpits?
That is the entire dating sim. You have to try and date different Lightning's armpits. There are 2 routes.
There are 2 routes, one the left one and the right one.
Wait,
Okay. Do we
but
have
yeah,
other
I
stuff
mean-
to talk about?
I'm just that is specifically like they have very convoluted things. So the last thing I had was you also
Oh yeah, apparently,
mentioned,
hang on. Apparently, speaking of Taken 3, apparently it's only gotten a 10% on Rotten Tomatoes, so...
Is it even out yet?
Apparently it had... Okay, I'm looking at the Wikipedia page. It said that its Berlin premiere was the 16th of December. And
Why is Berlin where
What?
it starts? Oh, the film might take place in Berlin. Who knows?
I don't know.
It always
What?
take place in foreign locations.
I'm just hearing... I see stuff about Los Angeles Police Department, and... Oh god, there's plot things. I'm just seeing like Spetsnaz and Afghan War, and I just... What is this series?
a mess. See,
So apparently its tagline is "It ends here." So let's hope that
Please
it
do.
ends here.
I asked my dad about it. It was funny because I was like, why did they make another Taken movie? And he immediately just looked at me. And
Money.
He immediately looked at me and was just like, money. He's like, I was like, why do they keep making these? He's like, as long as it makes money, they're gonna keep making them. I'm like,
They have no reason to stop if it's making them money.
yeah. And that was immediately like, I just kind of like looked at him for a second, and I just got real sad, and I walked away. Anyways, this game Hatred that,
Oh,
that
yes.
you were telling me about.
Speaking of more ratings debacles, apparently it has received an adults-only rating in the United States.
Which is pretty extreme. Let's just be
Well, the
honest.
game is pretty extreme.
Yeah, I don't...
It's like
Oh,
the new
God.
Manhunt.
Is it literally just beating the hell out of other humans?
Not just beating, just murdering in general. Yes.
Yeah,
like,
that's kind of
straight up
its...
executing people.
That seems to be its thing. It's just
That's just a
reveling
gimmick.
in the
It's
fact that
violent.
it's a violent game, and you rock around and you shoot people, and you play a guy who looks like Lobo from DC, and it's just ugh. And I hate that it's gotten as much
Attention.
press as it has, just because that's all it seems to be.
Yeah,
And-
I just think it looks like a dumb game. Like, they're just
And-
doing it for the sake of being edgy.
Yeah, and I don't know if it has a Spec Ops: The Line-esque twist in it, where
I've heard that game was actually good.
it was, and because of its
Twist.
spoilers,
Because of
Because-
its spoilers.
because it looks like just another generic Call of Duty clone, but then it turns out to not be. It's kind of the thing. But yeah. Yeah, Hatred is just about a character that you play who hates humanity and begins a genocide crusade to kill civilians and police officers and stuff.
Damn.
And it doesn't look that great, but it has an adults only rating, and yeah, and there was a whole
And
debacle
people are
about
gonna
What?
how it got on Steam greenlight, and Steam removed it,
And
But
a
then
lot
they
of
put
people
it
got angry
back.
About it.
and then everyone got angry and they put it back. And now it has an adults only rating, so Steam will probably remove it again since they don't really carry adults only games.
What like defines like adults only? Like give me like an age thing. That's more of what I mean.
Probably.
Like because I know that.
I feel like you can probably still buy it when you're 18, but it's probably just like to get the point across that this game is obscenely bad. Like,
Because I know like
morally.
you have to be 17 to get a mature rated game.
Adult games with this rating contain content which the board believes is unsuitable for people under 18 years of age. this rating typically covers adult video games.
Which I would
The
imagine-
ESRB has rarely issued the adults-only rating for violence alone. Yeah.
So basically, it's on par with porno games, which
Because
Pretty
it's
it's super violent.
And probably just because of the themes behind it, just because there doesn't appear to be
An actual theme besides hey,
much
let's
more
kill
to
people.
it. Yeah, and I don't know, it's not out yet. Maybe like I said, maybe there will be some sort of twist where they take the, oh, it's just a violent video game and turn it on its head. But
Turns out he was possessed by Satan this whole time. Woo!
or they make more commentary about violence in video games, but like they haven't shown much more than just the violent part.
It slowly just becomes like you start out with this horrible violence, gore, visceral mess, and as you play on in the game, it slowly just becomes fluffy unicorns and rainbows and pyrovision, basically. That's the moral of the game.
Yeah, just looking at the trailer for it, that's kind of what I was hoping, where you just have the first like 30 seconds of the dude making his rant about hating this world and not having any value in it and taking as many people with him and all that stuff, and then he just kicks the door open and it's like Equestria type ponies and rainbows and all kinds of
Sunshine, lollipops, and copyright music.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's just it. It's just him fighting unicorns and fairies and stuff.
Berries!
Fairy
Scott?
godparents. I mean, like if they're anything like the fairies from Dragon Guard 3, I mean, those fairies were assholes.
Fairies are kind of assholes in most media. Like they only become nice in like kids stuff.
Hey, listen. Hey, listen. Watch
Shut
out.
up. No one wants to hear you talk.
Navi, I got it. Watch out. I know.
It's like I've only been playing this game for a long time. I know it's gonna happen.
Well, that's all I have on my list. Anyone else?
Well, I mean, I could talk about a really relatively minor thing that I actually witnessed on Twitch, and I think actually forgot to post it on Reddit about Legend of Zelda. There's a Twitch channel called Good Games Done Quick or something like that. I don't think it might be Good Games. I don't know. But anyways, it's a speedrun thing for like old games, and they did a was it Majora's Mask? It was either Majora's Mask or Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time. You told me it was Ocarina of Time.
Someone did the playthrough of that, and some woman, like, in the middle of the stream, like, broke down and started crying and talking about, like, how her family has died to cancer, now she's probably gonna die to cancer, and the guy was just like, I don't know what to do now.
Okay.
Yeah, she, like, broke down in the middle of the stream and just, like, made a scene, and it was really uncomfortable for everyone.
I would have shut down the stream, like not out of like, more out of respect for her than like disrespect. Like,
Yeah.
just like I don't want the entirety of the internet watching you have a complete and total mental breakdown right now. Like, I feel horrible if that happened.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be like, I don't need this speed run. We're just gonna shut this down.
I don't need this speed run.
Yeah, that's. So ending on a depressing note.
Yeah.
I guess goodbye, everybody.
again.
Huh?
See you again next week for All Still Alive.
We're not gonna. I don't think we're gonna do it every 2 weeks, kind of thing.
Well, clearly we're not going to be alive.
We'll see you eventually.
See you when we see you.
Or not.
Or not. You know.
Bye.
Goodbye.